This is CBC Here and Now.
It's not an unreasonable question to ask whether or not all of these institutions are needed.
We spend 50% more on hospitals than the rest of Canada.
Right now is not sustainable.
They followed the plan right up until the critical moment when they should have disconnected.
Now CBC News has learned the man who made the call to stay put still works aboard the Sea Rose.
Without batting an eye, I said, well, take my car.
A Newfoundland woman freely gives up her set of wheels to complete strangers.
Our latest snowmaker, it's on its way out. We have a brief break as we roll into the Friday time period, but if you've got some travel plans for this weekend, heads up, there's more snow on the way for Saturday into Sunday. Your full forecast details are coming up.
Let's get to our top story. We shine a light now on the staggering cost of health care in this province.
$2.5 million to pay physicians and nurses, $1.25 million to operate the Health Sciences Centre, and those are just some of our daily costs.
We often hear that Newfoundland and Labrador spends more on this important public service than any other province. But where does the money go and what do we get for our massive investment? Here now's Terry Roberts has that story.
Let's say you're stuck in slow-moving traffic here on the Parkway, and it takes you a full minute to drive past the Health Sciences Centre right here in St. John's. Well, in those 60 seconds, it's costing taxpayers nearly $900 to operate this complex. Here's some examples. More than $1 billion in compensation for doctors and nurses, many millions for drugs and administration, more than $200,000 each day for food services, and $250,000 every 24 hours for sick leave and overtime. Just shy of $3 billion for a tiny province teetering on the edge of a fiscal abyss.
Right now is not sustainable.
Economist Wade Locke has been calling for a royal commission into health spending, but that's not going to happen.
There's nothing new that will come out of a royal commission.
The association that represents physicians has also asked for a review of every facility and service. Again, a flat no from government.
We're saying that we need this review to find out what is the right distribution of facilities and services around the province, and then live within that. We have no target in mind.
On a per-person basis, Newfoundland and Labrador spends about 25% more on healthcare than the national average. So what's driving that gap? Well, obviously our small, aging population, our vast geography. But what really sets us apart? Institutional costs. According to the Canadian Institute for Health Information, we spend nearly 50% more per person on hospitals than the rest of the country, and we have 15 of them. But we spend even more to operate our 21 long-term care homes and other institutions.
It's not an unreasonable question to ask whether or not all of these institutions are needed, and if they're not needed, what happens if we take one or two or a lot away?
And then there's the workforce. 19,000 people employed by our 4 regional health boards. But what's the answer when experts from Ottawa to St. John's are saying the current rate of spending is untenable? That's a tough one, says Locke, especially when politics is at play.
Now, the problem, I guess, is whether or not these kind of changes can be made in the short term. And in the short term, people are focused on getting reelected.
Most agree that if the province is serious about addressing its very difficult financial situation, it cannot do so without tackling health spending. But it's not a topic that Health Minister John Haggie wanted to discuss this week. He says he'll be happy to talk about it after the next budget. Terry Roberts, CBC News, St. John's.
More details are coming out about an incident that prompted the CNL-OPB to shut down oil production on the Sea Rose FPSO. This after an iceberg came within less than 500 meters of the structure last March. Senior executives with Husky Energy flew to St. John's for meetings with the Petroleum Board as the company attempts to resume production. Here now's Fred Hutton joins us live in the studio with the latest. Fred?
Well, Anthony, it's not unprecedented, but it's only the second time in 14 years that the Offshore Petroleum Board has suspended operations at one of the 4 installations operating off our shores. Today, senior executives and safety officials with Husky, the operator of the Sea Rose, met with the CNL-OPB. Now, the board's chair and CEO, Scott Tessier, wouldn't divulge the details of that meeting, but says he made it very clear to Husky that the company no longer has the board's confidence, and that's why the suspension was implemented.
They followed the plan right up until the critical moment when they should have disconnected, and rather than do that, they chose other courses of action.
Now, while Tessier will tell us what Husky did, he won't say why they did it. He says that is still part of the active investigation. What we have been able to confirm is that up until this afternoon, at least, the offshore installation manager who made the call not to disconnect is still working on the Sea Rose. Tessier told the CBC that it was the board's feeling the manager should not be in charge while this matter is ongoing because of a risk of distraction.
I think we would carefully review the training and competency of the people who are in positions of authority going forward, and that would certainly be part of what we would require in order to be comfortable with ongoing operations.
We've also been told that if the protocol had been followed and the emergency disconnect had been done, it would take a Husky anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks to reconnect. That begs the question if financial considerations factor into these decisions.
In situations like this, worker safety is first and foremost, and that's what we expect from the operators as well.
Well, obviously, Fred, as you mentioned, a lot of money on the line here. What's the financial impact for the province?
Well, the Finance Department told us today that the shutdown at Sea Rose amounts to about $200,000 each day in deferred revenue. Now, the oil is still there, of course. The money will eventually come, but for now, it's on hold.
And as for the company, Husky, what's it saying tonight?
Well, not much at all. They're not commenting right now. We do know, though, that they're going to be presenting a proposal to the CNL OPB tomorrow afternoon. As for financial cost to the company, a quick check of the Husky Energy stock just a couple of minutes ago shows it dropped about 6.7% since yesterday. Debbie?
Thanks very much. That's Here Now's Fred Hutton live in our studio this evening. 4 years for setting fires. That is the sentence to the man who lit up community buildings in Bay d'Espoir last year. Donald Craig McHate was sentenced this morning in court in Grand Falls, Windsor. Here Now's Garrett Barry reports.
According to Judge Robin Fowler, this sentence reflects both the serious nature of this crime and McHate's remorse for his actions. Fowler delivered a 4-year sentence, one less than the Crown was seeking.
It's not a matter if I'm happy with it. The sentence imposed was within the range, so there's we can look at it to see whether or not we will appeal it. We have 30 days to do that.
McHate set fire to a school building, a combined town and fire hall, and an RCMP detachment in the Bay d'Espoir region last year. In a letter to the judge, he said he was in a deep depression and wanted to make society pay for his unlived life. In court, 49-year-old McHate took ownership, saying he acted alone and pleading guilty. Judge Fowler called it an articulate effort. Fowler also denied an RCMP request to have McHate pay back $1.5 million in damages.
Well, in his decision, Judge Fowler indicated that given Mr. McHate's means, or lack of means, and his mental health issues, that it would be a cruel and unusual punishment in this case. It's a large amount, but the building has to be restored, the equipment within the building, the restitution request itself would lay out specifically how they came to that figure. But given the amount of destruction, it's not unusual.
Judge Fowler also spoke today about the rural nature of these crimes. He said that people in the Bay d'Espoir region weren't just worried about themselves, they were also worried about whether some of these community buildings would ever come back. As of this week, students at Bay d'Espoir Academy are still taking classes in a temporary home. Garrett Barry, CBC News, Grand Falls, Windsor.
Nice snowflakes coming down there.
Beautiful,
Good point to bring Ryan in now to talk about the weather.
It is Thursday. A lot of people making their plans, and obviously a lot of people still focused on what's happening on the western parts of the island.
Absolutely. So a little more snow for those folks last night where Garrett was there, about 15 centimeters in Gander overnight and through today, ending with a little bit of drizzle, but that low is now departing. And as we focus on the weekend, as Anthony mentioned, a lot of folks focused on the weekend now. Perhaps you're heading west to Corner Brook for the Hockey Day in Canada celebrations. Well, that low is departing. Friday's a great travel day across the province. Very quiet, couple of flurries on the go. If you are going to be outside tomorrow, do keep in mind temperatures are going to be cool. Wind chill values a little bit cooler than that. We'll talk about that in more detail, but I do want to just give you a heads up now that Saturday we will see our next low moving in with snow, pushing in from west to east. It doesn't arrive until late afternoon into the evening hours for the Avalon. A little bit earlier, of course, through the morning in Corner Brook, afternoon in Central. Mostly snow with this. May see a bit of mixing along the southern Avalon and the southern Burin peninsulas for Saturday evening in through the overnight. This low then departs for Sunday. Generally, we're talking about 5 to as much as 10 centimeters. Could see some amounts closer to 10 or even 15 along higher elevations of the west coast, but we'll talk more about that in detail with your full weekend forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Debbie.
Well, at the National Junior Curling Championships, Team Glynn struggled today against Alberta and lost 10-2. The young female curlers now have a record of 5 wins and 4 losses. As for the junior men's team from Newfoundland, they are playing Manitoba, and it's a close one. As of a few minutes ago, they were winning, but Manitoba just won 7-6.
Close one. A Globe and Mail article about a chance encounter and a random act of kindness is once again bolstering this province's reputation for being a very friendly place to visit.
Hi, Adriana.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
A virtual reunion today between Alma Lake and Adriana Anon, who is in Ottawa. They first met last year on a hiking trail. She was on vacation in St. John's with her husband and their 2 children, and they were exploring Signal Hill when Lake and her friend Renee struck up a conversation with them. When Lake discovered that the family didn't have a vehicle because there were no rentals left in the provincial capital, she insisted the family take her car for the rest of their 3-day trip. Anon wrote an article about the experience for the Globe and Mail, and today, Here and Now's Carolyn Stokes visited Lake's home to hear them both talk about how kindness sparked a new friendship.
So we stopped, and as soon as we spoke, I recognized an accent. So Renee asked about the trails, and I asked where they were from. And Martin said Uruguay. And so Renee asked, well, you know, like, have you done Doran's Lane? And I could see the hesitation. So I said, do you have a car? And they said, no, we're just getting taxis to this area because we couldn't get a rental when we arrived in St. John's. So without batting an eye, I said, well, take my car. Just take my car.
I was dumbfounded, and I remember that I walked away. Like at the beginning, I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, this is crazy. And I walked away because I'm like, no, I'm not even having this conversation. And Martin's the one that stayed behind and kept chatting with them.
And then it kind of went on from there. So and they were like smiling and looking at me like, this is a crazy lady we've just ran into here on Signal Hill on a nice sunny day. So we all continued on, and Renee and I were a little ahead. And then I think Martin caught up to us. And I said it again. I said, Martin, like, please take my car. I'm offering you a car to have to drive around here. And he said, well, I will think about it. And then I looked, and Renee said they have 2 teenagers with them. So then I was adamant that they were having a car to drive to enjoy their family vacation in Newfoundland.
She had no idea who we were when she offered these keys. We were just, strangers. So then later on, we kept on the walk, and throughout the walk, I'm like, I kept asking her, are we really gonna do this? Like, we're really gonna take a stranger's car? And then he was like, well, she really wants to lend it to us, and we could really use it. Wouldn't it be nice? And I'm like, well, it would be nice, but it's something we'd never done before as well.
So I went back the 3rd time, and that's when Martin said, well, if we decide to take your car, I don't want you to worry about it afterwards. So here's my card. I'm the ambassador for Uruguay. So when I met Renee, we giggled over that one, of course, that I just offered my car to the ambassador for Uruguay.
You didn't give it to somebody. You gave it to a stranger. You gave it to someone you had no knowledge. The only thing you saw was a family who had come to this place, who needed something that you had, and you just said, well, I can do something for you. I can help you out. And so that's what I think is lovely about the story, that you just you went for it. I think if more people did that, then the world could definitely be a better place.
Oh my goodness, with so much, with the world today being such a volatile world, and then, stories like ours, if we make a difference so other people can be trusting, I think that's good.
For sure. I really do agree with you on that, Alma. I think kindness breeds kindness, and it's a good thing. And Alma, whenever I tell the story, usually people look inward. Like right away, people will ask themselves, would I have done that? Because it's a natural reaction to have. And most people wouldn't, but at the same time, they ask themselves, well, what could I do, or what could I get to do? What would I do for a stranger? Most people would not lend their car to a stranger. I think.
It made me feel so good So yeah, if people realize the random acts of kindness, how they feel to do that, then I think you'd see much more of it, not only in Newfoundland and Labrador, but outside and all over the world.
The holy grail of hockey hits the slopes. How Marble managed to pull off a miracle. Welcome back once again. Well, there's bad news tonight for snowmobilers who like to ride the trails inside Grossmore National Park. They are temporarily off limits.
Last weekend's unseasonably warm weather on the west coast is to blame for this. Parks Canada says all snowmobile activity within the park boundaries is off limits while officials assess the snow conditions and the potential hazards.
The trails are also closed to prevent further damage to the snowmobile routes or the backcountry. Well, from one mountainous area to another, the ski slopes at Marble Mountain opened to the public this morning.
And that's just days after rivers of mud cascaded down the hill, ripping it all open. Here now's Colleen Connors joins us live there tonight. Colleen, how did the crews manage to pull off this mini miracle?
Well, Anthony, I think it's a little bit miraculous what they've been able to do in just a few days. I don't know if you can see behind me, but it's white snow everywhere. Some of it is man-made, of course, but then, of course, we got a little bit more snow this morning, and it's lightly falling again tonight. And it was all in time, of course, for the Hockey Day in Canada events that kicked off here just last night for the whole weekend. Just take a look at this footage. Beautiful red and white lights just beaming as they bring the Stanley Cup down Marble Mountain to kick off the Hockey Day in Canada events. Just a beautiful sight, so much energy here at Marble Mountain last night, and then they took the party inside where a lot of local musicians performed here at the lodge. Now this morning here at Marble Mountain was just a perfect ski day. We had 20 or 30 skiers and riders up here, 2 slopes open, including the Bunny Hill, and a lot of people raving about the conditions here today. You know, it's really incredible when you look at the footage from Monday when this place was just rivers of chocolate milk, mud, rain. It was such a mess. And, you know, crews here really have been working not only overtime, but I think 24/7 to push that man-made snow that lasted, push that around and cover up all of that muddy mess.
Well, we have a really good crew, our outside operations crew, who've been working essentially around the clock to get us open. We did some snow making here on the lower area, focusing on the trails that, you know, we had good man-made base beforehand. So we got the Cruiser and Jigger open, and as well as Broadway, our Magic Carpet learning area. So we focused on the areas that we could get open quickly, and now we're working on the rest of the mountain.
So that means that the more snow will be coming to the rest of the slopes here at Marble Mountain. Snow guns going on the top of the hill, trying to get the hill fully opened, especially before tomorrow night, which is the first night ski of the season up here on Friday night, which will be a real treat. Now, as for all that mud and mess and rain that's underneath, well, crews have decided to do a real assessment of that in the spring of the year, once all of the snow is melted and they can really get a handle on the damage there. I want to go to Peter Cowan now, who is live in Deer Lake. Now, Peter, I know that the Humber River levels have dropped slightly, but people in that area are still being asked to leave their homes. Can you tell us what is the latest there?
Yeah, Colleen, the issue here is not the flooding, it's what's happened to this bank behind me when all that ice came down the river and scoured it. You can see there's a birch tree that's leaning over. It used to be part of the property on the back of this house, but since the ice has started scouring away, this bank has become unstable, and every day more and more of it has started to erode. And so because of that, what they've done is they've asked 2 homes on this street, including this blue house that's over here. They've asked the people to voluntarily leave just as a safety precaution because more of this land keeps eroding away. And so the couple in this house have decided that they will leave. Fortunately, they have family in and around this area who will be able to take them in. But it hasn't been an easy process just having to sit back and watch with nothing you can do.
Scary, unreal. Still in shock. This is my backyard for almost 58 years. Hard to believe.
And what's it like seeing it all crumbled away?
Unreal. Unimaginary, actually. Yep. Never thought I'd see the day. Especially this time of year. This is different.
So what have you been doing with your parents who live here?
I just finished packing up all the land deeds, the insurance, the pictures, anything I can get off the walls or downstairs, all packed in Tupperware now.
And so where will they go?
They could go, this is all my family, so they can go across the road, down the road, up the road, so we're fine. Or they come up with me.
A lot of other people on the street have been carefully watching their backyards. I talked to another homeowner who's fortunately his property isn't in danger, but he lost a dock that he just rebuilt, about $6,000 that went into that. So lots of people along here have lost things due to the flooding. And talking to the mayor today, he's warning that the situation here may not resolve itself in just a few days, because the concern is that especially as temperatures warm up, eventually that more of this land may start being eaten away.
While the weather's still cold, this is helping the situation. The frost is in the ground, but the minute we get another downturn in weather and another hot spot or a warm up or even rain for that matter, what's beyond us here, it's all sand, so that will wash away and very quickly a lot of this could go.
Well, Peter, of course, nerves were pretty ratcheted up there for a while. What about the people who used to be cut off?
Yeah, there's some good news that I at least have for you tonight, Anthony. Okay. As of about 10 p.m. last night, the communities of Lark Harbor, York Harbor, where we saw the chicken airdrop happening yesterday in Jeremy Eaton's piece, the good news is they can go out and get their own now because that road has reopened. It's not an easy road. They've basically just barely made it passable. I can show you some of the pictures of what the situation looked like today as cars were able to go through. So people at least able to get out for things like medical appointments and supplies able to come in, but there's still lots of work that crews are going to have to do, putting in place all sorts of big rock, which really gives you a sense of just how powerful that water was when it came rushing down the hill over the weekend, washing away all the rock, the culverts, and the road. So it's going to take a while for them to get things back, but at least the good news tonight is that things are passable enough that the communities are once again connected. Reporting live from Deer Lake, I'm Peter Cowan for Here and Now.
Iceberg impact. An Archival Land and Sea episode looks at the breakthrough research that was conducted in southern Labrador.
This is the first time
Welcome back. Well, it's good to be back here.
It's nice to have you here.
Both of you again. Thank you. And while we're out there covering some of the weather stories and damage on the West Coast, as you know, that big event is going on there in Corner Brook with a lot of hockey legends. I bumped into Lanny McDonald. See this guy with his bushy mustache? I think that's Lanny McDonald. But there's also somebody equally famous, and there he is. That's Ron McLean in the middle, and most of you here and now viewers will recognize Jeremy Eaton for sure, and Gary Moore, who's in Corner Brook. He's actually leaving to go and work for another position, CBC in New Brunswick, so good luck to him.
I didn't know that.
So Jeremy Eaton puts this up on social media, and he doesn't even give me a photo credit. Right?
It's a great shot.
Yeah, a lot of excitement in Corner Brook about this event.
And is Don coming too? It's Ron.
Yes, he should be there by now. Yeah,
so
I think he'll be there by now.
They draw a big crowd.
I was actually texting with Jeremy today. We saw Wendell Clark.
I know, they're all there.
Yeah, so it's good times in Corner Brook, and not just the hockey stars, but the trophy itself.
Oh, look at it.
That's really, really classy that somebody thought of this, because that's that area when I first drove there, it looked like a bomb had gone off. You see an excavator, it looks like a dinky inside a hole.
Yeah.
And so for somebody to think about that's pretty classy.
Yeah, it is. So this was, of course, the Premier actually tweeted this out today, and he said, it seems the Stanley Cup made a special stop at the Little Rapids washout site for all the local champions who have worked tirelessly to reconnect the community.
Yeah.
So a great gesture there for the folks to bring that Stanley Cup by. Where do you think it goes to next after Hockey Day? Definitely not to Ottawa, Anthony.
No? Do you know where it's going?
I think it's going to Toronto at the end of the season.
Oh, wishful thinking.
It's definitely not going to Ottawa, though.
Unfortunately, you're probably right about that.
Yeah, second last in the East right now?
I know.
A little rough, yeah.
Kick a man when he's down.
Yeah, you're right.
Ryan has been used to it for a while.
That's true.
Enjoy it while you can.
Yeah, that's right. Things are going not too bad for the Leafs right now. Ottawa's down, so yeah, we might as well take advantage of that. Okay, satellite and radar picture, and our latest low is departing pretty quickly after dropping 15 centimeters of snow in Gander, getting reports from places like New West Valley, closer to 20 centimeters there. Again, unofficial reports, but in that 15 to 20 centimeter range, it appears for central towards the northeast. So again, a pretty decent shot. And the first 15 centimeter snowfall for Gander in one shot this season, hard to believe. Current temperatures, 4 on the plus side. After the rain and the showers and the drizzle and the plus side temps today, it's a good idea if you're across eastern Newfoundland and there's standing water to get out there and clear it away, because temperatures are going to drop. You can see where the colder air is rushing back in on the other side of this low. -2 in Corner Brook, -13 to 16 Happy Valley Goose Bay towards Labrador City. Still a little bit of a southwesterly wind right now for St. John's, but winds do shift tonight. Watch your timeline. Onshore flurries continuing along the west coast. Winds aren't going to be too breezy out there, but they will again be light enough for tomorrow morning in the St. John's metro region, likely only some gusts to upwards of 10 or 15, so generally light. A little bit breezier along the west coast, but again, note those temperatures. -4 in St. John's, inland areas of the Avalon, -7 to -8, so a hard freeze up for any of that standing water. And if you're traveling tomorrow morning, do be mindful for black ice. Could be an issue, especially for the sidewalks. Any untreated surfaces that still have a little bit of water on them will be, again, potentially icy. So an extra eye before you take that first step onto your sidewalk tomorrow morning. There is 7 a.m. and you can see where a bit of clouds kicking up into the afternoon. The Avalon, the Burin, Clarenville, Bonavista, cloudier day than not. Chance of a flurry despite what this forecast model shows in those onshore winds for central and towards western Newfoundland. Northwest winds, and we are going to be seeing westerly winds, but generally light through Labrador in the -teens to -22 there. Weekend look. Increasing clouds, Saturday morning some sun in the east, everyone else a pretty cloudy start, and that snow tracks in through the day. It's a late day arrival for St. John's. This is a pretty quick mover. This is, yes, snow on the go, and if you are traveling, be mindful that it's going to be moving through light flurries through southern Labrador. This isn't a huge snowmaker though. Certainly one to watch if you do have travel plans. As I mentioned, temperatures are going to get up to around -1, -2 to -4 across central and western parts of Newfoundland. but as it departs, by the time we get to around Sunday morning, we are only talking about 5 to 10 centimeters for most of us. The potential for a little bit more in those onshore winds along the west coast, as much as 15 centimeters by the time things are said and done. And it's again departing by Sunday, but certainly a little breezier for Sunday, with temperature highs in the little on the cool side as well. -2 to -7 on the island, -17 to 22 back on the menu for you folks in Labrador. We'll talk about next week. Another system mid next week, and some of you won't be happy with what it's bringing. We'll talk about that coming up. Debbie and Anthony.
Well, yesterday, the Sea Rose oil production platform was shut down after a CNLOPB investigation revealed that the vessel had a near miss with an iceberg. Happened last March.
An iceberg came within half a kilometer of the Sea Rose, and that was well within the vessel's ice exclusion zone, which means it should have disconnected and sailed away.
So what would have happened if an iceberg had actually hit the Sea Rose? Well, that was the topic of a Land and Sea episode that aired in 1996 when Sea Corps began some fascinating tests on the southern coast of Labrador. Take a look.
You think that's the big cathedral berg we saw?
I think it may be, and it's done a flip on us.
Denny and his team are trying to figure out exactly how much damage one of these could do, say if it collided with an oil rig. Their plan seems simple enough. Lasso the berg of their choice, tow it into the side of a cliff, then measure the impact. The guys decide to start small. They've chosen this baby berg, a piece that broke away from the berg we towed in yesterday. Greg Crocker's job is to install the ice anchor. The tug's tow rope will be attached to this.
It's good, Greg.
Sea Corps' overhead camera tells the story. This is the first time scientists have ever pulled this off, anywhere. Other ice impact experiments have been done in laboratories around the world, but nobody has dared try the real thing until now. Over the course of the summer, Sea Corps manages 28 successful impacts. The biggest berg was somewhere around 2,000 tons.
See the pulley there, that's swiveled again in the pulley ring.
8 months later, at the Sea Corps building in St. John's, scientists are still wading through data and still basking in their ultimate success.
Oh, I'm more than pleased, and I'm sure the scientists are too, because we were quite confident that we could get impacts, but to get so many and at such good speeds and such good hits was really great.
Important research for sure. Now, 3 months after that episode of Land and Sea was taped in 1995, the 3-member crew of the Sea Alert died when their vessel sank, and the show was dedicated to their memory.
Remembering and honoring pharmacist David Collins.
Welcome back to Here and Now. Well, the School of Pharmacy bestowed its highest honor to David Collins this evening. The award recognizes leaders, mentors, and those who inspire future pharmacists. David Collins was a longtime pharmacist with Lawton's Drugs. He was tragically killed at his home in Logie Bay 2 years ago. He was 55. Now, dozens gathered at the Health Sciences Center for this evening's ceremony. The event officially welcomes first-year pharmacy students to the school with the presentation of a white laboratory coat, a symbol of compassion. This year's honorary white coat was presented to the late David Collins and was accepted by his daughter, Julia.
My dad was so dedicated to this profession. It always comes up. The word dedication is always coming out of somebody's mouth when they're talking about my dad and sharing stories. And it is an honor, and I'm so proud to be able to accept this token of his dedication tonight. Since my father cared so deeply about the success of future pharmacists and the students in this school, there will be an award set up in his name, and it will be dedicated to helping students with their clinical practice in their 4th year.
Lisa Bishop is the School of Pharmacy's interim dean, and she is joining us now. So, Dr. Bishop, first of all, why does the school present this honorary white coat?
So we present an honorary white coat to a pharmacist who's done a lot in this province for the profession. So we started this tradition 2 years ago, and it really enabled us to recognize those individuals who do give back. So they're involved in the profession, they are involved in providing excellent patient care, and they're really dedicated to the profession. So it gives us an opportunity to show the first-year students really what they can strive to be like.
And why was David Collins chosen this year?
So David Collins, as you just mentioned, unfortunately passed away 2 years ago, and he was an individual who was dedicated in this province to providing care to his patients. So he's a community pharmacist in many different areas of the province for 34 years. And in addition to providing the care as a pharmacist, he was involved with the Pharmacists Association of Newfoundland and Labrador. He was a dedicated preceptor who really showed the students what it is like to be a professional and give back. So he's done a lot. He was a caring, compassionate individual, and those are the people who we do like to honor.
And his daughter Julia has announced today that David Collins, her late dad, is going to continue to give back with a bursary, I believe.
Yes, that's correct. It's wonderful when people do give back and carry on people's memories. So we are setting up an award in David Collins' name so that a deserving student every year will get a bursary, and then we can remember him for years to come. So that is very special, and we love to do that here at the school.
Dr. Bishop, there was a lot of talk today at the event about how the school is connected to the wider community. Why is that so important to you?
Well, in a province like ours, we are a very small, tight-knit pharmacy community. So we work very closely with the Pharmacists Association Newfoundland Labrador, the Newfoundland Labrador Pharmacy Board, and the wider pharmacy community. So we help support practice. We rely on the preceptors in the pharmacy community to be role models for our students. So when they graduate, they have those role models to work towards, and it's really a wonderful opportunity for us to work closely with everyone, and that's how it's always been since the pharmacy school began many years ago.
Dr. Lisa Bishop, thanks so much for joining us. It was a pleasure talking with you.
Great, thank you for having me.
New details emerge about the California couple accused of torturing their children.
This is when we like to welcome our young athlete of the day to the program. This is 4-year-old Addison Goss of Grand Falls, Windsor.
Fabulous pirouette. Addison participates in gymnastics and, as you can see, dance. And that's with the Leslie Oak School of Dance.
As well as minor baseball. Great work staying active, Addison. You're today's young athlete of the day.
The weather update is brought to you by Belltone Hearing Service St. John's, helping the world hear better.
I guess we'll get to look ahead now. Tomorrow is Friday.
That's
the
right.
Weekend is looming.
Yes, and a bit of snow coming for the weekend. Not a lot, but enough to shovel for most of us.
Yeah.
5 to 10.
I got
Anthony.
home and I was so concentrated on the weather situation on the West Coast. When I got home last night, I couldn't get my car in the driveway, and it's all done horrible stuff. It's like this.
Yeah, it's like concrete now. I know. Yeah.
So my wife's getting a shovel for her birthday.
Oh, I thought you were going to ask us to come over after the show.
No, I wouldn't do that to you. I wouldn't do that to you.
So we've been talking about that, and then another potential warm-up next week. We're going to get to that in the 7-day. First, I want to show you this great picture that was sent in by Bill Perks.
Oh, nice.
Pine grosbeaks and silver thaw.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And this picture makes me think of all of the birds that do migrate south. And we've been talking about the cold shot down in the southern parts of the U.S. Orlando is at 11 today. Houston, for the second day, is at 3, better than -3 2 days ago. And again, very, very cool air for all those snowbirds that are both birds and humans that have been sent down towards the southern parts of the U.S. Over this week, it has been a cool one. Again, Florida seeing snow today for the third time this season. Now, as we roll into the long range again, big low rolling onto the west coast, and Alberta Clipper gets spawned out of that. That's our weekend snowmaker. And then another low is dropping down through the U.S. That's going to grab some moisture from the Gulf of Mexico, and that will be our midweek system, which, as of now, looks set to bring a warm-up for much of the island. Let's break it down and your timeline details. There goes our low from last night. A few onshore flurries along the west coast. Nothing to be too concerned about. Some cloud cover over the east tomorrow. Chance of an onshore flurry for central as well as the west coast for tomorrow. And then as we roll into the Saturday time period, here comes our next low. And again, it rolls in from west to east through the day on Saturday. Light snow generally, not looking at too much, more than 5 to 10 centimeters for most of us. Best chance of 10 will be along the west and southwest coast. And then that low will depart by the time we get to Sunday morning. Just a few lingering flurries out there. And Sunday overall looks kind of quiet. A bit of a trough that's going to be dropping through into Labrador as we work throughout the day on Sunday. There's another recap of that. So picking things up here Sunday afternoon. And this is the long-range forecast model, the Euro, and pretty good agreement between the two big long-range outlooks in terms of the European and the American here. High pressure sets up Tuesday, quiet conditions Monday into Tuesday. Here comes our next low, and pretty consistent with this track that's to the west. And what that means is snow to ice to rain for a good portion of the island, especially eastern parts of Newfoundland, snow and wind for Labrador, and this will then roll up into the Thursday time period and some snow and wind even on the back side. So yeah, 5-6 degrees across eastern parts of Newfoundland, potentially on Wednesday after -4 or 5 on Tuesday, and you can see where temps will slide behind the weekend system into early next week, and then that rebound as we roll into the Wednesday time period. Now, for Labrador, you can see minus teens over the next couple days. Pretty quiet generally. Some very light snow for Saturday, just some flurries and very light snowfall in the south. And then again, kind of quiet until that Wednesday potential for next week. We'll keep you posted, Debbie.
Thank you, Ryan. In national and international news tonight, new horrific details are emerging in the case of a California couple accused of torturing and holding their 13 children captive. David and Louise Turpin were officially charged today with multiple counts of torture, abuse, and imprisonment. Steve Futterman has the details.
4 days after they were placed under arrest, the parents of the 13 children were formally charged.
We have filed 12 counts of violation of Penal Code Section 206 against both David and Louise Turpin. That is torture.
And prosecutors in disturbingly graphic detail described years of alleged abuse.
This is severe, emotional, physical abuse. There's no way around that. This is depraved conduct.
In at least one instance, officials say David Turpin sexually abused one of the children.
We filed one count of a violation of Penal Code Section 288B1 against David Turpin, which is lewd act on a child by force or fear or duress.
This is where law enforcement officials say years of torture occurred. In the middle of this working-class residential neighborhood, the unspeakable acts took place.
The victims report that as a punishment, starting many years ago, they began to be tied up. First with ropes. One victim at one point was tied up and hog-tied.
The ropes were later replaced by chains and padlocks. Sometimes the punishments would last for weeks or even months. Officials say the children were given minimal amounts of food. Some of them now have cognitive deficiencies. It will likely take many months before any trial takes place. The charges against the couple are serious. The charge of torture under California law carries a maximum sentence of life in prison. Steve Futterman for CBC News in Riverside, California.
Well, back in Canada now, photographers and bird watchers are soaring to a town in Nova Scotia with their eyes up in the sky. It's the 27th annual Eagle Watch, and the star attraction, a huge eagle population that puts on quite the aerial show. Here's the CBC's Colleen Jones.
Oh, well, it's great to see all the eagles around here. I'm a bit of a bird fancier anyway.
That's Malcolm Lake. 3 times a day for the last 2 years, he comes out with a bucket of chicken and throws them into the open field. Perched in the trees watching them, about 40 eagles waiting for the feed.
Once I step out, there's a lot of chatter that starts up in the tree, so it's almost like they're telling one another it's feeding time.
You must love them.
I do. And I think it's great that we get so many people out to share the beauty of the nature.
It's that beauty that brings photographer Barry Burgess here. He's been coming to capture the eagles for 25 years now, patiently waiting to get just the right shot.
I love to come in a snowstorm because it gives it more atmosphere. So I drove down specifically from Queensland area because it was a snowy day.
His patience pays off. His shots are amazing. What the Eagle Watch is all about is the Sheffield Mills community. It's a fundraiser for their historic community hall. Meg Hodges is on the Eagle Watch committee.
It's a big deal to us. It's a great time for our community to come together, and it's like kind of the one time a year where we all are in the kitchen volunteering, making breakfast and making sure that the eagles are fed.
I don't know what you can see in the trees here on camera, but there's probably about 40, but generally there's a population we know that there's at least 300 to 400.
That's Michael Gautreau, one of the organizers. In past years, this event has drawn several thousands of people. The hope is to attract bird watchers, eagle lovers, and photographers from across North America, maybe even Europe.
We want Eagle Watch to turn it into a tourist destination for the area, and it'll benefit not just us, but it'll benefit the local economy as well.
For Malcolm Lake, he comes to this field 3 times a day, not just for the event. As a bird lover, and especially the eagles, it's a chance to give them a little love.
I think it's great that we're giving something back to the eagles because for years and years and years they were persecuted. So it's nice to see them back in healthy numbers and their population being sustained.
The Eagle Watch begins January 26th and runs on the first weekend of February as well. Colleen Jones, CBC News, Sheffield Mills.
A ravishing rainbow red sky.
Some alliteration there, and but that does not help us in any way identify where that is.
I have no idea.
And those were the photographer's words, and beautifully put.
Central Newfoundland.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, but
the
on
trees
the island.
look small.
On the island.
On the island.
Must be down our way.
South coast.
Aha.
So I will leave it there, and you can try and guess where exactly. We'll have the answer after the break.
Well, if you've ever been in the trouble on the water, this next story may be of profound interest, and perhaps an Australian world first could be the future of search and rescue.
This is incredible. A drone dropped off a much-needed life raft to teenage swimmers caught in the surf in Lennox Head.
Somebody spotted these two boys, and they're struggling. They're washed away, and look at this. Plop from heaven, in this case, a drone. The lifeguards called in for some help, and it just so happens the lifeguards were in the middle of a training session for a new fleet of emergency flyers.
Wow, this is such a valuable tool. So they tested out one, dispatching the drone that quickly got the raft to the boys and the boys to safety. A local official said the whole process took only 70 seconds.
That's incredible.
It's
amazing. You got to wonder, Debbie, when they're down there and all of a sudden, blunk, this thing comes out of nowhere right in front of them.
Their prayers were
like
answered.
A miracle. Wow.
Well,
back to colder spots?
Yeah, we've been telling you, of course, this week about concerns over the ice jam on the Humber River.
Well, we're not the only province expressing concerns about large buildups of ice. There's an ice jam in the Yamaska River northeast of Montreal, and it's proving to be as beautiful as it is potentially dangerous.
Ice jams aren't uncommon on the Yamaska, but the blocks aren't typically this big, and the jams aren't usually 6 kilometers long.
Heavy rain and mild weather were followed by a snowstorm and a cold wave, and shoring up a tangle of ice and causing the river to flood. Nearly a dozen homes have been evacuated, and Ryan has become a sort of river aficionado of late. That's major.
That is. That looks really not good.
Big, 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 especially if they get that warming, right, that Dean Ball, the mayor of Deer Lake, was talking about,
It's
right?
going to warm up eventually.
Yeah.
Okay, our viewer picture of the day. Any guesses along the southwest coast and beautiful Isle of Mort?
Oh, of course.
It is such a gorgeous picture.
That was my next guess. It's gorgeous.
And this is from Monica.
Yes.
Okay. Really appreciate seeing that, Monica.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. To everybody who posts your pictures to Facebook, thank you very much.
Keep them coming.
And thanks to you for watching. Have a great night. See you back here tomorrow.
Good night.
See you.